If you hate Sony colors, it's probably because you can't color grade. I recently did a post on Threads talking about color grading and if the colors of Sony sucked and what did you think about the other brands. Well, it got into a discussion that, to be honest, most of the cameras in reality have great color sensors. There's some minor, favoritism when it comes down to certain brands because maybe the colors might be a little bit easier, but it all came down to the same thing. If you don't know how to color grade, it doesn't matter what the camera colors will have, you just won't know how to use it regardless. And if you're trying to go ahead and color grade when it comes down to any camera going on from 2020 and on, to be honest, if you can't get the colors that you want, it really is not the camera, it's you. See, I've personally been shooting with Sony for quite a while, and I've actually used other camera brands whenever I've had to use footage from friends or anything like that, to be honest, I was able to get the results that I wanted regardless if it was a Nikon, Canon, or even Sony or Fuji. So in reality, I didn't have any issues with the color science of either camera. It really just was what I could get out of the cameras because of the dynamic range and the sensors to a certain degree, but the colors were just fine. And of course, I'm talking mainly about video here because in reality, if you have a raw image from any camera for photography, you really have so much that you can do already with all that information that you get from the raw files that it doesn't really matter what the color science might be. You can get an achievable result that you want to with the raw files. Of course, if you're using maybe Fuji when it comes down to the simulations and straight out of camera JPEGs, they might have a slight advantage when it comes down to that because that's what they're kind of known for with the simulations and things of that sort. But that's not what we're talking about here. A lot of people kind of hate on Sony colors, but from my experience, ever since I gotten like anything with 10-bit color, there hasn't been any issues to get the desired look that I want to. If you look at any creators online, you will see that they have really great results for the cameras that honestly, if they didn't tell you, you wouldn't even know. And I know it might be the minority here when it comes down to talking about Sony colors being great and everything like that from a certain aspects, unless you're, actually somewhat experienced in coloring, that you'll notice that it doesn't really matter. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an experienced, colorist or professional cinematographer or anything of the sort, but I think I can fend myself pretty well when it comes down to color grading. And that's what I want you to understand, that you shouldn't really be going too crazy with this color science kind of mentality because to a certain degree, there's not really much of it anymore. Yes, some cameras might shift a little bit more magenta, maybe a little bit more green, maybe a little bit more darker here, darker there. Yes, but if you have a great starting point from all of them in the log profiles when it comes down to color grading for a video, you should be perfectly fine. I've shot everything in log because I just like to be able to, have everything that I want to create when it comes down to color grading and everything like that from a kind of blank part of like a canvas, if you will, to then add my color grade that I want to. Now, am I the best at it? Of course, no, I'm still learning to this day, but I don't find it as an excuse to say that because I have Sony, now I can color grade like, Canon could. Because in reality, Canon used to be really good with their color science to a certain degree when it came down to their DSLR, cameras. But in today's world, with the mirrorless and what you can get with the S-Logs and everything to get that flat profile to bring it to what you need to, it really doesn't matter as much as I would think because I don't notice much of a difference if you would tell me that they shot it with, Canon versus Sony in certain scenarios. If you put them side to side, it'd be hard to tell a difference most of the time if you know what you're doing with your color grade. And this video might be a little bit more, triggering or condescending or clickbaity, if you will, to some people, but in reality, it's the truth. If you hate Sony colors and any colors in most cameras that are modern, it's just you. It's okay to understand that there is a problem that you don't know how to color grade so that you can actually invest the time to learn how to. It's a never-ending scenario where you have to show up every time to keep learning and adjusting your color grade because your palette of liking of colors will keep evolving with you as you keep growing as a creator. For myself, with photos and videos, I enjoy all of it, and I enjoy knowing that I can do something with a raw file when it comes onto photos, and as well with the S-Log or just log footage overall, where I have more muted tones and everything more muted so I can, bring it to life to my liking. And I've never had any issues now with my Sony cameras. Like right now, I'm shooting with my Sony a7 IV right over here, where I've been just kind of having all my setup so I can just showcase that with every camera that I own, it's perfectly fine. I have my A7S III over there just, helping me out to get a different angle to showcase that with these cameras, with the log footage, you can get them close to each other, because some people even say that between the Sony cameras, you might have a shift here and there. And with my A7C Mark II, it's just another, baby A7 IV with the sensor and everything, that it works out perfectly to have all these cameras kind of help out with, as well the ZV-E1, where I have a little bit of a smaller A7S III because of the sensor that they share. And I'm able to create, videos on the go with a smaller setup, that in reality, having all these cameras, having the log footage with 10-bit has been the most clutch part of it all. And that's what it is. If your camera has 10-bit color, there's so much you can do when it comes down to color grading that you're able to essentially do what you want to regardless of the camera. The 10-bit color range in reality is what gives you that tonality to be able to adjust to what you need without damaging the image so much. Sure, don't get me wrong, shooting in raw video like how you could with cinema cameras, or even doing to an external monitor with some of the cameras nowadays, or anything like that internally with maybe Lumix, for example, in the S5 Mark II X, it'd be great and everything. But not every camera needs it, nor do you need it every time to get the footage that you need to create the best color grade that you want to paint the picture in your style. And that's what I want to get to when it comes down to this video, what it sparked it, because there's a lot of people that think that if you have Canon, you'll have better colors. If you have Fuji, then you're gonna have superior tonality when it comes down to skin tones. Or if you have Canon because they were superior in colors for so long, that you'll be fine. But in reality, it doesn't matter the camera brand that you have. I've shot with quite a few of them already for photo and video, that it really just comes down to you and your knowledge in color grading. So I just want to make this video essentially to have it where you understand that it's more about just going out to create and get better at your craft by practicing, color grading, rather than just simply complaining that the colors suck of a camera and that's why you would never get it, despite it could maybe help you out because of what they give you of access within that ecosystem. For example, with Sony, my favorite thing is having access to different types of third-party lenses that allows me to have a lot of, range in the focal range. And it also helps out to have cameras that have a lot lower light capabilities when it has like the dual native ISO like 12,800 like my ZV-E1 has, and as well my Sony A7S III, so that I can capture things that I want to do without worrying so much about the light. And the good thing about it is knowing that I can get the colors that I want to get out of all of these cameras because of practicing my color grading. So remember, it's good to know that there's a problem so you can fix it. So if you don't like the colors of the camera that you're using, that means that you have to get better at color grading. Hopefully it's not too controversial of a topic today, and you want to share your knowledge of how you got better at color grading, or what you think about the cameras that you're using that have helped you to become a better content creator. So go ahead, leave a comment down below and tell me your experience with your camera to see what you like about it, what you don't like about it, how you overcame it, if it was anything with the color science that helped you out to become better colorists, or share something that could help other people to understand how to make sure that whatever camera they're using could help them out to still get the best colors that they can to be able to go ahead and create the videos and photos that they want to without any hesitation. And as well, I'll be happy to help out in any way that I can, so make sure to leave a comment down below and let's get to discussing. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.